Hello, Scorpio. I know your heart has been heavy lately, even if you haven't said it out loud. There's a shift coming in the final week of July, one that may leave you feeling confused, blindsided, or even betrayed. Someone close to you, someone you thought you could count on, may start to withdraw. They may go quiet, cancel plans, act distant, or say something that feels colder than usual. And your first reaction, as always, will be to go inward, to ask yourself what you did wrong, to retrace every step and overanalyze every word. That's your instinct to find the fault, to fix the fracture. But Scorpio, this time, you're not meant to fix anything. You're meant to let go. Because this isn't rejection. It's redirection. What looks like someone turning their back on you is actually the universe stepping in to remove what has been quietly holding you back. This person, whoever they are, has served their purpose in your life. Maybe they once brought you comfort, understanding, even joy. But now, without realizing it, they've become an energetic weight. They've outgrown your vibration. Or maybe you've outgrown theirs. And while you've been sensing it in small ways, the awkward silences, the emotional distance, the moments where you feel like you're reaching and they're retreating, you've been holding on, hoping things would shift. But Scorpio, your soul has already decided, and when your soul decides, life rearranges itself to support that truth. That's why this person is pulling away. It's not punishment. It's protection. The universe sees what you're not ready to admit, that you've been pouring energy into something that's no longer aligned. And you've known it. But you've kept trying, because that's what you do. You're loyal to a fault. You feel things deeper than anyone else. And when you commit, you don't walk away easily. But this silent unraveling, this quiet goodbye masked, as indifference is necessary. It's a closing of a karmic loop. It's life saying, Scorpio, it's time to stop giving so much to someone who gives so little. It's time to stop shrinking to hold space for people who never intended to meet you at your depth. And even though it may sting because yes, rejection always brushes against old wounds, this moment will free you in ways you can't yet see. In the days that follow, you may find yourself replaying the past, wondering if you should have done something differently. Don't beg. Don't chase. Don't explain yourself to someone who already made a quiet decision to disconnect. Your power doesn't lie in proving your worth. It lies in reclaiming your energy, in recognizing that sometimes love looks like walking away before you bleed out in silence. Sometimes love means surrendering to a higher protection, even when your ego calls it loss. So as the final week of July unfolds, stay grounded, stay soft, but clear. This isn't the end of your story, it's the turning point. The people who leave now were never meant to walk with you into your next chapter. Let them go, because what's coming is not just better, it's aligned. And this time, Scorpio, you won't have to fight for it. You'll simply feel it quiet, certain, and whole. You see, Scorpio, the reason this moment feels so disruptive isn't just because someone is pulling away, it's because your soul already knew they were no longer meant to stay. The truth is, this connection has quietly been draining you for longer than you'd like to admit. You've been pouring your energy, your loyalty, your emotional depth into someone who intentionally or not was never truly capable of holding it. They didn't meet you with the same presence. They didn't mirror your devotion. And over time, that imbalance turned into a slow, invisible kind of exhaustion. You may not have seen it clearly then, but your spirit felt it. And that fatigue wasn't just emotional, it was spiritual. It was your higher self trying to tell you, this is no longer where your light belongs. But Scorpio, you don't let go easily. Your nature is to hold on until your hands bleed. to believe in the transformation of even the most broken things. That's your gift and your ache. And because you couldn't walk away on your own, the universe stepped in for you. This isn't cruelty. It's mercy. The removal of this person isn't a punishment, it's a release. They were quietly blocking you from receiving the blessings that have been circling your life, waiting for space to land. The new relationships, the opportunities, the growth they couldn't reach you while you were still clinging to someone who no longer saw you clearly. So now, the detachment that feels so painful on the surface is actually the clearing of a sacred threshold. The end of something karmic. The closing of a chapter that was never meant to follow you into the next part of your journey. You didn't lose. You didn't fail. You simply outgrew the place where your soul could no longer breathe. And now that the energy is no longer being siphoned, you'll start to notice. Your intuition will sharpen. Your heart will soften. And your path will open in ways it hasn't in a long time. This is the part where you learn that love isn't about endurance, it's about alignment. And sometimes, the most loving thing the universe can do is remove what you were too loyal to release. And yes, Scorpio, the days immediately after this unraveling will be raw. You'll feel it in your chest first, that hollow ache. Like something's missing, even if you know it wasn't truly nourishing you. The mind will start to wander, replaying old conversations, questioning your worth, wondering if maybe, just maybe, you pushed too hard, expected too much, loved too deeply. That's your instinct, to carry the weight, to examine every sharp edge and assume you caused the cut. But this time, that story isn't yours to wear. Let yourself feel it. Don't rush to be okay. Don't mask the grief with pride. You are allowed to mourn something, even if it wasn't right for you. You're allowed to cry over what could have been, even when what wasn't healthy. And the truth is, when you stop trying to resuscitate a relationship that has already flatlined, something quiet and unexpected happens. You begin to breathe differently, deeper, freer, lighter. That relief might arrive slowly, like a door creaking open after being stuck for years. But it will come, in the silence. You'll notice the absence of emotional tension. You won't have to second-guess text messages or decode silence. You'll stop wondering why your needs felt like burdens. And in that space, what once was occupied by confusion, overthinking, and energetic imbalance, something new will begin to form. You'll start to notice people showing up differently. Conversations will feel easier, safe. You'll be drawn toward relationships that feel mutual, where your emotional depth is not a threat, but a treasure. You'll have more energy for your creativity, your purpose, your healing. Even your body may begin to relax again, no longer on edge from trying to hold together something that was never yours to keep. And opportunities, those quiet gifts that were circling the edges of your life, will finally find a place to land. Why? Because you are no longer pouring yourself into something that gave nothing back. The space you once filled with effort and self-sacrifice becomes fertile ground for aligned connection, clarity, and abundance. This is what happens when you stop confusing attachment with love. This is what healing looks like, not a straight line, but a clearing, a reawakening, a recognition that your worth was never up for negotiation. So, let the grief move through you. But don't let it define you. Let the silence be sacred. Let the absence reveal the truth. You did not lose something essential. You released something expired. And in that release, Scorpio, you're finally becoming who you were always meant to be, unbound, unshaken, and unmistakably whole. So let this be the truth that anchors you. Scorpio, not just in this moment of separation, but in every moment that follows. You were not discarded because something was wrong with you. You were removed from a connection because something was deeply right with you. The universe saw what you couldn't yet accept, that your heart was being spent in a place that couldn't honor it. And your light was being dimmed to accommodate someone who never knew how to hold it. You weren't too much. You weren't too intense. You were simply too rare to remain where your depth was overlooked and your loyalty was taken for granted. That's why this isn't a loss. This is a soul upgrade, a vibrational shift so profound that the only way forward was through release. And yes, it came through silence, through coldness, through someone's absence. But don't confuse the delivery with the divine message underneath. You are ready for more. Not more chaos, not more confusion, but more alignment, more clarity, more soul-level reciprocity. You see, Scorpio, when something or someone is removed from your path at this level of intensity, it's because your energy is being redirected to something higher, something that requires your full attention, your undivided heart, your sacred presence. And if you had stayed entangled in what was slowly eroding your self-trust, you would have missed it. That's why now, in the quiet aftermath of what once was, your greatest task is not to close your heart, but to strengthen it. Not to become harder, but wiser. Because the love you gave wasn't wasted. It was a reflection of your truth. And that truth deserves a mirror that can reflect it back with the same intensity. And that mirror is on its way. There are connections already orbiting your energy, waiting for you to clear space. Relationships built not on need, but on soul resonance. People who will see you, not just admire you, who will hold you, not test you, who will stand beside you, not question your fire. These are the ones you're being prepared for. And that's why this letting go had to happen now. So take heart in this. The ending was the medicine. The distance is the doorway. And your open heart is not a weakness. It's a sacred invitation to the love that's meant to meet you at your full. Radiant depth. Stay open. Scorpio, stay awake. Stay soft. Because what's coming next will never ask you to question your worth again. And so, Scorpio, as we close this chapter together, take one final breath, not to forget what happened, but to honor what it taught you. This isn't just the ending of a relationship or a painful goodbye. This is the closing of a karmic cycle, the quiet release of something your soul had already outgrown. And while it may sting now, that sting is the wound where the light gets in. You have just survived something that could have broken you. But instead of collapsing, you chose clarity. Instead of chasing, you chose truth. Instead of staying small to keep someone close, you chose to let go in order to become who you truly are. That decision to honor your energy, instead of begging for someone else's, is not weakness. It's sacred strength. It's emotional evolution. Let this be the moment you finally stop confusing endurance with love. Let this be the moment you realize that the person who walked away didn't reject you, they released you. And in doing so, they created the space your future has been waiting for. No more chasing. No more explaining. No more shrinking. You are not here to prove yourself to people who can't see your worth. You are here to align with people who never make you question it in the first place. Yes, you may still miss them sometimes. You may still wonder what could have been. But don't let nostalgia trick you into romanticizing a connection that was slowly silencing your spirit. Don't go back to what exhausted you just because it's familiar. Forward is where healing lives now. Forward is where your real story begins. And when that loneliness creeps in, as it will remind yourself that you are not alone. You are walking a path thousands of other souls have walked. The path of choosing yourself, even when it hurts. Of staying open, even when it would be easier to shut down. Of believing, even when life has asked you to let go. So here's what I want you to carry with you. This wasn't the end of your love story, it was the clearing. The reset. The sacred pause before something real arrives. Something honest. Something nourishing. Something that speaks the same emotional language as you. It's not far. It's already moving toward you. And when it arrives, it will feel like peace, like recognition, like home. Until then, Scorpio, stay close to yourself. Trust the separation. Trust the silence. Trust your depth. You were never too much, you were simply too rare to be mishandled. And the next time someone shows up, you won't have to wonder if you're enough. You'll know you are. Because finally, they will too.